Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be learning how to draft a straight pant trouser with perfect crotch, zipper fly, and side pocket. If this sounds like what you would love to learn, then stick around. Please do well to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you. So the first thing we want to do is to draw our border lines. I'm going to draw 4 inches by the side. That is what I'm drawing. I marked 4 inches. I'm connecting the lines. Then I'll mark 4 inches upward. 4 inches upward. So I'm going to connect the lines to this 4 inches upward, and by the side is going to be used later. You'll see when we use it, but just mark it as a border line. So all your markings will start from this part. So now I'm marking my trouser length. My trouser length is 39 inches. So I'm going to mark 39 inches across and I'll draw a straight line. So I'm marking the 39 inches now. 39 inches. So I'll connect the lines. That's my trouser length. So we have gotten the trouser length. So that's our trouser length. So the next thing I want to do is to mark my crotch depth. So my crotch depth is my hip divided by 4. So my hip is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So I'll mark 10. Don't forget, I'm marking it from that my border line. I didn't start from the 4 inches. I started from that line. So I'm going to mark 10 inches across. You see, I'll turn it into a box. 10 inches width, 10 inches depth. That is my crotch depth. So you see it. That is my crotch depth. So the next thing I want to do is to mark my crotch extension. And the crotch extension for the front is your hip divided by 20. So my hip is 40. 40 divided by 20 is 2 inches. So I'm going to mark 2 inches. And I'll connect the lines to the crotch depth. You see, that is my crotch extension for the front. So what I want to do now is to mark my hip line. Your hip line is 2 inches above your crotch depth. See, I've marked the 2 inches and I'm connecting it. So that's my hip line. So now I want to connect the crotch. You know that smooth curve that the crotch usually have. So to do this, I'm going to mark 1/4 of an inch on this hip line. Then I'll use my curve ruler to connect those points. It will give me a very nice curve. So you see, that is how it's going to look. You see it looking so pretty. So the next thing we want to do, we want to mark the waist measurement. My waist measurement is 29 and I'm going to add 1 inch allowance. So I'm going to connect it to my hip. You see it? I marked my waist measurement on that line and I connected it to my hip. I added 1 inch allowance for that. So now I want us to finish with the upper part before we go downwards. So now what we want to do next is to mark our dart. So to connect my dart, I'll just share what I have on the waistline into 2. Then I'll draw a line. The length of the front dart is supposed to be 4.5 inches. So I'll draw a straight line. For me to know that it's accurate, I'm going to measure it. I want it to be equal. I want the line to be straight. So I'll mark a straight line like so. Then I'll open the dart by 1/2 inch on both sides. You know I left 1 inch dart allowance. So I'm going to share that 1 inch on both sides, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and I'll connect it. So that's our dart. Our dart is ready. So the next thing I want to do is to raise this my waistline by 1/2 inch. I'll raise it up by half. Then I'll connect it to the first dart leg like so. So that is done. The next thing I want to do is to get my knee length. In case you do not take it on your client, what you can do is to measure from your crotch depth to your trouser length, divide it by 2, then raise it up by 1.5. Divide your crotch from your crotch depth to your trouser length, divide it by 2, then go up by 1.5 inch. That will be your knee length. So you connect it. That's your knee length. So we have gotten our knee length. So the next thing I want to do is to we want to mark our knee circumference, but before you can mark your knee circumference, you have to get the midpoint, because there's something called the crease line. If you don't get this crease line, when you finish sewing your trouser, you will see that the front will be shifting, the back will be shifting to the front, and it will not be in the middle. So for you to get your center to be your center so that nothing is moving, you measure your crotch, everything that you have from your crotch extension to that point, you divide it into 2. I have 12 inches there, so I'm going to divide it. I'll get 6 inches. The middle of the 12 inches is going to be 6 inches. So I'm going to mark 6 inches. You see, I divided from my cross extension to the end. I divided it, so I got the midpoint, which is 6 inches. So you see me drawing it into a straight line. So that's the midpoint. So every of my measurement is going to be coming in between this line. So my knee circumference is 17 inches. 17 inches divided by 2. You know, 17 inches is all the both the front and the back. So I'll divide it first by 2. It will give me 8.5. Then I'll divide the 8.5 again in between this line. So I'll get 4.25. So that's the 4.25 I marked there. So then we'll go to the ankle. My ankle measurement is 13 inches. First, I'll divide the 13 inches by 2. I will get 6.5. So then I'll share the 6.5 in between this line. I'll mark 3.25 on one part, 3.25 on one part, and we are done. So we are connecting. Now I want to connect my knee circumference to my ankle circumference. That's what I just connected. So I'll connect this one too for the other part. Then I want to connect from my crotch depth to my knee circumference. That's what I'm connecting. So that's connected. Then I'll use my curve ruler. I don't have the pant curve, so I'm just going to combine these 2 rulers together just to get a nice curve. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'll make that curve. Okay guys, so with this we are done with the front pattern. The front pattern is ready. Now we want to go to the back pattern, but we are going to draft the back pattern on this same pattern paper. So I'm going to use a black marker pen to differentiate both the front and the back. So the first thing I want to do is to increase the width of my crotch depth line. You see it, I'm increasing it on both sides. You see it. So on this my center front line that I'm touching right now, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. Yeah, then upward I'm going to go in by 2 or 2.5 inch. Then I'll connect the lines. This is now my center back. The red marker pen in front is the center front, while this becomes my center back. All my markings is going to start from here. So the next thing I want to do is to mark my crotch extension for the back. You know, for the front we did hip divided by 20. Now it's going to be hip divided by 10, and my hip is 40. 40 divided by 10 is 4. So I marked 4 inches from the center back. So to make that curve, I'm going to come out by quarter, then I'll give it a nice curve like so. You see it. It does not necessarily mean your curve must touch your 4 that you mark on the crotch depth. Just make it touch that quarter inch that you came out by. Then you connect to give you a nice curve. Then the next thing you want to do is to increase that line. You are not seeing it right now, but I'm going to shift it later. I don't know why I didn't capture that, but you are going to see it because I will shift it down now. And then you will see that you will raise that your center back line. You raise it up to accommodate your bum at the back. So you raise it up by 2.5. So I've raised it up by 2.5, though you can't see it now, but you will see it later when I shift the paper down. So now I'm measuring my waist measurement. So you're going to measure it in a slant form. Just don't worry, you will see it. I'll shift the paper. Good. So I've shifted the paper down now. You see, that's how you're going to mark your waist. You're going to mark your waist. Then you raise it up by half, just the way we raised it up at the front too. So you see, I'm connecting my waist divided by 4. I marked it in a slant form. You can see it's not straight. So the next thing I want to do is to mark my hip measurement. You can see I'm marking my hip measurement from my center back. You can see it. So then I'll connect my waist to my hip. I hope you get it. If you don't get it, just rewind. You will understand better. So I'm connecting my waist to my hip measurement. So the next thing we want to do is to impute our back dart. So for us to impute our back dart, we'll do the same thing. We'll share this thing into two. This part, we'll share it into two. So we have 8 1/4 right here. So if I divide it by 2, this is the middle. I'll mark the middle. But there is a trick for this back dart. What you will do, you can't mark a straight line. If you mark a straight line, it will not be correct. What you need to do, there are lines on your ruler. On your ruler, there are lines. See, straight lines. Make sure one of these straight lines is aligning with this slant line here. Then that will give you a straight line for your dart. So you see, just make sure that this one of those your straight line is aligning with the straight line on your ruler is aligning with it. So you see, I've gotten a point, so I'll draw my dart. So my dart for the back is going to be 5.5. So this is where 5.5 is going to stop. So I'm going to mark 5.5 there. So this 5.5. You see 5.5. So that's my dart for my back. So I'm going to open it up by 1/2 inches. You know, we left 1/2 inch, so I'm going to open it up by 1/2 inch. So that's my dart for my back. Good. So that's my back dart. So our trouser is already looking pretty. So the next thing we want to do now, on this knee line, come out by half. Just come out by half here on the knee line. Come out by 1/2 inch. Come here too. Come out by 1/2 inch. Then on the trouser length down here, come out by 1/2 inch. Here too, come out by 1/2 inch. Then you connect all the lines. And our trouser is ready. It's so simple. It looks difficult, but it's so simple. Trouser making is very, 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 very simple. So you see, then I'll connect my crotch. This is my back crotch. I'll connect my back crotch. Then I'll connect my hip to my knee line. So you see, our trouser is ready. You see, it is looking so beautiful. You can see, this is our trouser. The red marker pen is for the front, while the black marker pen is for the back. You can see it. So what you would do, the next thing you want to do, you have to transfer one. You know, both of them are together. You have to transfer one to another paper, because you can't work with this like this. So you have to choose the one you want to transfer. Like me, I'm going to transfer the front to another paper, then I'm going to use this one. I'm supposed to transfer both of them into another paper, but I'm just going to transfer only the front into another paper. I'll use this one as my back. When I want to cut now, I'll use this one as my back. But I'm going to transfer the front into another paper so that we can get our pockets, our zipper fly, and the rest. Okay guys, so I brought another pattern paper to put underneath it. Then I'm just going to use pin to secure them together so that when I'm tracing, it will not move or shift. So I'm pinning it down right now. So the next thing I'll do is to bring my tracing wheel. This is what is called a tracing wheel. Then I'll trace everywhere that has my red marker pen, because that's where is my front. The red marker pen is my front. So everywhere that has the red marker pen, I'm just going to, sorry, my camera is shaking. Sorry about that. So I'm going to trace everywhere I see the red marker pen. I'm going to trace it out because that is my front pattern. Okay guys, so we are done tracing. I'm removing the pins now so we can see what we traced out. So this is what we traced. This is what we traced out, though you can't see it, but I can see it clearly. So I'm just going to use a marker pen to bring out what we traced out. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so I've been able to transfer it. You can see this is the transfer, this is the front, these are front pattern now. You see it, I've transferred it, this is the front, and this is the one we transferred. So I'm supposed to transfer the back too in another paper so you understand, but I don't want to transfer it. You should be able to understand it. The black marker pen, when I want to cut now, I will cut on the black marker pen. So the black marker pen, if I want to cut now, I'll cut on the black marker pen. So the black marker pen is our back, while the red marker pen, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to cut on the black marker pen. That will be our back pattern. And this one that will trace, this one that will trace is going to be our front pattern. So I'll show you when I cut it. So guys, this is our front now. It's time to get out our band, our zipper fly, and our pockets. So the first thing I will do is to close my dart. Before you draw anything, before you cut out your band, you have to close your dart. So I've closed my dart. Then I'll mark 1.5. I want the height of my band to be 1.5. So I'm going to mark 1.5, 1.5. Then I'll connect the lines. You see me connecting the lines now. So that's my front. That's my band. So I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, before I cut it out, let's mark our zipper fly. So the length of our zipper fly is going to be 6 inches and the width is going to be 2 inches. So that's what I just marked now. The width 2 inches, the length 6 inches. So I'm connecting the lines. This is going to be my zipper fly. I want my band to go into my zipper fly. It's supposed to be so. And I'm making that curve that zipper fly usually have. So I'm making my band to go into my zipper fly. So I'm connecting it. So that's my band. So I'm going to cut it out. So this is my front band. I'm going to label it. This is my side front and that's my center front. So that's my front band. It's ready. I'm just going to add ½ inch when I want to transfer it to fabric. So I'm going to open back my dart. Then I'm going to cut out my zipper fly. That's my zipper fly. It's as simple as that. I'm just going to cut it out. When I want to replace it on fabric, I'm going to add ½ inch round. So that's my zipper fly. Our zipper fly is ready. I'm going to cut 2 of it. So I'm just labeling it zipper fly. The next thing I want to do is to create my pocket. So to create my pocket, I'm just going to go in from the side. This is the side. I'm going to go in by 2 inches here. I'll mark 2 inches here. Then I'll go down. The going down here depends on the size of your hand. If your hand is big, you can use standard is 7 inches. So I'm just going to use 7 inches. So I'll mark 7 inches here. Then I'll connect it. This is the pocket opening. So you can connect it with a straight line. You can connect it with a slant, a curve. You can connect it with a straight line. You can connect it with a curve. So I'm just going to go with a slant. So the next thing you want to do is how deep you want your pocket to be. How wide you want your pocket to be. You can go 3.5. You can go 3 inches. So I'm just going to go with 3.5 like so. Then from this point, from the 7 inches point that you mark, you're just going to go down by 4 inches. That's how deep you want your pocket to be. So 4 inches. So I'm just going to take everything that I have here and put it here. I just want a straight line here. I'll just connect it with a straight line here. Just connect the points. So this is your pocket. If you don't want to leave this space like so, you can just, if you don't want to leave, you can just cover it. You just give it a little cover. You see it? Just cover it. So this is your pocket. So all you need to do is to trace it out. You know, we can't cut it. This is our main trouser pattern, so we can't cut it out. What I'll do now is to put another paper under, then I'll trace this pocket out. First I'll trace the pocket. This is the pocket. Then I'll trace the pocket facing. This whole place like this is the pocket facing. I'll trace it out. So let me do that. Okay, before tracing this out, I want to cut the trouser pattern so I can use this excess paper to do the tracing. So I'm just going to cut our trouser pattern out before tracing this part. So let's cut our trouser, our front trouser pattern. Let's cut it out. So these are front pattern. You can see it. These are front trouser pattern. See it. So now I want to use this excess paper to, I'll put it under so that we can trace out this pocket, so that we can trace out the pockets and the pockets facing. All this place like this, including this place, is the pocket facing, but without this part from here like this is the pocket itself. So I'm going to trace it. So I'm going to trace this pocket, then the pocket facing. I'll trace it now, then I'll show you. I'll trace it out. So I'll just pin it to secure it. So I'll just trace it. So I've traced the pocket facing. Now I'll trace the pocket itself. You might not be able to see it, but I can see what I traced out. So now I'll trace the pocket facing. No, the pocket. I've traced the facing. So now it's time to trace the pocket. I'll pin it down too. So I'll trace too. So now I'm tracing the pockets, just the pocket without the facing. I've tested. So what I'll do now, I'll connect the lines. So I'll connect the lines. You might not be able to see it, but me, I can see what I traced. So this is the pocket facing. This is the pocket facing. Why this is so this is the pocket. So I'm just going to cut them out. I'm just going to cut them out. So this is my pocket. This is my pocket facing. This is my pocket. You see it? This is my pocket. This is my front pattern. So now I'm going to cut this part out. If you are not putting pockets on your trouser, you don't need to cut this part out. But if you are putting pockets, you have to cut this part out. This part that we went in by 2 inches and we came down by 6 and we drew a slant line. If you are putting a pocket, you have to cut this part out because we have replaced it with pocket and pocket facing. That's what is going to be there. But if you are not putting pocket, please don't cut this part out. Just leave it like this. Just leave it like this. Don't cut this part out. So because we are putting a pocket, I'm just going to cut it out. So I'm cutting it out. You see, I've cut it out. So this one will replace it. This pocket will replace it like so. So you see it's completed back again. So our front pattern is complete. You see it. This is our pattern, the trouser pattern. This is the pocket facing. This is the pocket. This is the front band, and this is the zipper fly. I'm just going to add, when we want to transfer it to fabric, you'll see how we do it. This is the zipper fly. I'm just going to add allowances all around. So let me show you the back. This is the front. We're done with the front. So this is the back pattern. You remember, this is the back pattern when we drafted the front and the back. So I've traced out the front. So the black marker, I'm just going to follow the black marker. I didn't want to transfer both. It will just be a waste of paper. So I'm just going to bring out the back. I'm just going to follow the black marker. Anywhere I see black marker, I'm just going to follow it because that's my back pattern. So let's start cutting. Just follow me. Follow me. You see, this is my black marker. So I'm following my black marker now. I'm still going to cut out my band, but let's just cut the trouser out. I'm following the black marker. Following the black marker. So we're done. You see, this is my back pattern because I follow the black marker. So we need to cut out our band. You know, we cut out our band for the front, so we also need to cut out our band for the back. So what we are going to do, the same thing we did, we're going to close our dart first. We close the back dart. So I've closed my back dart. Then just the way I did 1.5, I'm going to mark 1.5. That's the height of my band. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So I'm going to connect the lines. So this is my side back SB, and this is my center back CB, and I'm going to draw an arrow to show where it's up. So I'll cut it out. And I'm done. So I'll remove the tape because we are going to sew in our dart. The remaining dart we are going to sew it on our fabric. So we are done. Look at our trouser pattern. This is our front. This is our front. These are back. These are back band. This is the front band. This is the front band. Okay, this is center front. Sorry. This center front. These are front band. These are pockets. These are pocket facing. This is a zipper fly. So if you want me to sew this beautiful trouser, please comment. Drop a comment in the comment section and tell me you want me to sew this trouser with you so that we can sew it together. So if you found value in this drafting tutorial, please give us a thumbs up. Click on the like button and drop us a comment and share our video. Please, I'm begging, share our videos and tell people about us. Thanks so much for watching. I love you. See you in my next video. Bye.